Hello and welcome to the Esports Awards Origins podcast. My name is Trevor Quickshot Henry, and it is my pleasure to bring you yet another very special guest. This is, of course, the podcast where we talk to your favorite content creators, your favorite streamers, your favorite personalities, sometimes casters like myself. And today I have a very special guest, somebody that I've been watching play for a very long time, somebody I've had the fortune of being parallel with in Europe, and somebody who I will apologize to for ruining his surname. It is Oscar Cañellas, which you may know as Mixwell. How bad was that?
That was perfect.
Was it good?
Yeah, and it's really rare to someone that is not Spanish to say it that well, to be honest.
I appreciate you being too kind to me. We are here to talk about you, my friend. For anybody that maybe doesn't know Origins, or if you're new here, the point of the podcast is to talk to you about where you came from, like your childhood, your first gaming memory, how you got into esports, things like that. So we'll start there, and then we'll move on to the more modern day stuff that most of our viewers will know you for: Counter-Strike, Valorant, and Otaka, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with the big one. What is your very first ever gaming memory?
It depends, right? Because I started playing on console.
Yeah.
So my first memory is Pro Evolution Soccer.
How old are you, and which console?
I'm 30 years old.
Okay.
It probably was. To be honest, I played Dreamcast as well.
Wow. Okay. So that's early 90s.
But I don't remember the games on Dreamcast because I was super small. I remember playing Pro Evolution Soccer on PlayStation 1, I guess.
Yeah.
And then on PC, I think it was Warcraft 3.
Wow. Okay. I played Warcraft 1, so there's a few years difference between the two of us. It will become more important later, but tell me about your family life. Tell me, what was gaming like in your household? What did your parents think, and what did your siblings think?
So I have an older brother that is 10 years older than me. He got me into video games. He was very good. He played for the national team and for French teams because he was much better than the Spanish players, and we have French family, so he joined French teams, and he got me into it. He didn't let me play, though. We had only one computer, and I could only play when he left Friday night.
Wow.
And I had to sneak into his room, and I searched for his password, and he had it typed in a paper. And I just hacked his PC, and I played when he was away, but their friends snitched on me because when I connected to Steam, I was online and they knew it wasn't him. So they told him, and then he changed his password, and it was like this for like 3 or 4 years. And after that, I got my first computer. So that's how I got into it. And my parents didn't like that we played that much, like almost every parent back then. And I had a lot of fights with them.
I know for a fact that in Europe, parents accepting gaming is a little bit further behind some other countries. And I believe Spanish parents are some of the strictest.
Yeah.
So what was it like in the later years when you started to become successul? Are your parents proud of you now? Do they still wish you had a real job? I mean, my parents wish I had a real job.
I mean, I'm sure they are. I think that when I was younger, they thought it was a waste of time. I have a very funny story. I used to play football as well. And I was going to the park every day with my brother, with my balloon, and everything. And there was a cyber cafe nearby. And instead of going to play, we sneaked into the park, and then we went all the way back, and then we went to the cyber cafe and played. But one time, he went to search for us, and we were not there. So he ended up in the cyber cafe. He saw us, and we got punished for it. And after that, every time we went to the park, they were looking at us from the balcony to make sure that we were going. And even if they were looking, we just did it again and again and again.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 10, 9 or 10.
And you were already that committed, or like that serious
I
about
loved it.
What was the transition like? So you've got an older brother. This was competing, playing for national teams, like kind of showing you esports at a very young age. So did you go straight into competitive games, or did you play other games first?
I went straight. When I got my first computer, I played Day of Defeat, which is a World War II first shooter video game. It was a mod of Half-Life 1. And he was playing in the national team back then, so with 12 years old, I was already in a team. never played casual, to be honest. I wasn't a casual player because I couldn't. So straight to competition from day one. Yeah.
I'm the same. I even single player games, unless it is something with a time, like a timer or a challenge, I have to compete my own scores. I don't play story games. Pfft, boring. I love this because it's very clear that you've got a competitive soul and spirit. It comes out in video games. You played from such a young age. So what did you do for fun other than this? Because competition, it is fun, but it's not always.
Yeah. I like football a lot. I'm a Barcelona fan. I played until I was 16 as well. And if I wasn't playing in my computer, I was playing football. So that was the main thing I did outside of it. And also maybe watch some anime back then as well. But in Catalonia, the part that we were living on TV, they showed a lot of anime, Japanese anime back then, which was...
What was your favorite that you remember?
It was Slam Dunk.
Okay.
It was a basketball anime.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Yu Yu Hakusho.
Of course, yes, classic.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see, we 12 years old, you're already playing Day of Defeat, and for your entire career, you've been pretty much successful as a competitor. What does the journey look like from going from Day of Defeat to Counter-Strike?
Okay, so I did this not because I liked Counter-Strike more, it's because Counter-Strike was bigger. So Day of Defeat, I reached to a point where I realized it wasn't getting much bigger anymore. Yeah. So I searched for the biggest first-person shooter game in that moment, and I switched to it. And I remember that I was really bad at 1v1s, because in Day of Defeat you die and you respawn again.
Yep.
So there's not that, these situations never happen. So when I started competing in Counter-Strike and I was in a 1v1, my heart started racing because I wasn't used to it.
How old were you? Do you remember?
Yeah, I was 15.
Wow. Okay, so we're only 3 years after Day of Defeat, right?
15 years old. And what I did to overcome that, I just played 1v1 cups, and I was 44-0 first in Spain after like 3 months.
See, it's because of kids like you that made me stop playing games, because I got my ass kicked by everybody. 15, you are very clearly, you understand yourself.
Yep.
You know you want to play competition. You know you're going to risk getting in trouble to compete, to get access to a PC. I also can see in your smile, you look back on those days really happy and fondly.
I am really proud.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
When did you get your first, when do you think in your mind you really became a professional? That like, you feel like, okay, I've kind of earned it, I've opened the door, I've made it.
It was when I went to the first national championship and I played, maybe you know them, I'm sure you know them. The first game I have ever played in the national championship was against Flippin and Musambani.
Yes.
Which were the legends in Spain back then in Counter-Strike. And we were losing 13-3. And we came back to 15-15 and we won on overtime and I did 46 kills.
You 40 bombed in OT.
Yeah.
So for all the children that are busy watching, by the way, Counter-Strike before CS2 was MR15. So you need to get a 16 to win. Very different game, very different setup. I love that you can remember that so powerfully. What did that do for your career? What happened next?
It was like breaking a barrier in my head. I was like, I won against the most famous players and I know I can do it now. I knew it, but I wasn't sure before that. But after that, I was like, okay, I will do it 100%. And fun fact, after I came back, I won the tournament. We won the tournament because I had really good teammates as well. And I told my family, we need a reunion. I was 16. And I told them, after I don't know how you say it here in the US. You study until you're 18?
Like high school, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Before you go to university or college. Yeah.
I told them I will stop after that and commit.
But you said you're going to finish high school.
Yeah.
How did that go for you?
They were okay, as long as you keep studying and you do the right thing, we will support you.
What were your grades? How good were you in school?
They were very good at the start of, like, from 3 to 12.
Yeah.
And then after that, they went down.
Okay. As the teams and the competition went up. Okay.
But when I said that I had to commit, then they went up again.
That's a big lesson. The reason I want to hear that is I'm lucky I get to do a few of these podcasts and speak to people who've been around as long as you have had the same success. And there's quite a few people that drop out of school or really don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's hard. It's not something that I'd recommend to a lot of young people, especially today, where it's even harder to break in and do well.
Yeah.
Before we get into like parents' conversation, I'm a lot older, so that's why that's important for me. Let's summarize your Counter-Strike career. There's a number of teams that you went to over your time.
Yeah.
I think the Optic roster is the one that comes to mind.
Yeah, that's best.
Okay, how do you reflect on your entire Counter-Strike competitive history?
Thing is, if I look back into it, because when you're on it, you never look back. It's like you're on top of a wave and you have no time to look back. So I never really took the time to think about what I've done, and now I'm amazed because when I was at home, there was a really huge crisis in Europe and in Spain, and we lost. How do you say power?
Electricity, yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't pay for it for 2 years. So there was someone that saved my career early on. I was studying with like candles, and yeah, it was rough.
Wow.
And his name is Adri. He had a team, Gbot, and I was playing a tournament, and the power went off. I called him and I said, look, you have to search for someone else because we will not be able to pay for it for a long time. And you know what he did? Instead of just searching for someone, he just said, tomorrow I'm going to pick you up and you're going to play from a place that I know. And he came with his car. He took me to Barcelona because I wasn't living nearby.
What did your parents say to this?
To be honest, my parents were too focused on turning the situation around.
Fair.
Yeah. There was no, they couldn't like,
Yeah.
you know, when there's so much trouble, they focus a lot on something and they forget about the rest.
Yeah.
So sometimes it happens. And I just said, okay, let's do it. And I went there. Imagine how bad the situation was that when I took when I was doing my backpack, my
my luggage, yeah.
I only had one
pair of trousers
and socks, but I faked it because I was ashamed of it.
Wow.
And when I got into his house, her mother, which she is a police officer, and she wanted to take my clothes to put it into the ward or wherever. And she opened it and I had nothing.
Unreal. Okay, I'm going to say, first of all, muchas gracias, Adri.
Yeah, of course.
First of all, because you've given us Mixwell, who's had a significant impact. Secondly, I want to just pause for a second. You are telling the story with a massive smile. And you are reflecting on what's an emotional, sad moment. And I can see some of the people who've come with you grinning ear to ear. How can you tell such a story and still...
It's because if I think about it, I can only think about that situation as something that makes me really happy, because without him helping me, I wouldn't be here. So why should I be sad? I was lucky to have him, you know? I don't feel like it's a sad story. I feel like it's a good story. Yeah. That's why, and I feel proud because I found people that are good people, so...
It also, this helps explain why I've really enjoyed watching you as a fan. This energy that you give off, it's very infectious. I do want to ask more. Optic. What happened? How did you get there? What's your favorite memory? Tell me about it.
So I played for Adri's team, and we qualified through the national championship to ESL tournament in Barcelona, and we played Fnatic, which was the top 1 team in the world.
When was this?
In 2015.
Okay.
And we almost won against them. We were not earning any money, and they were the best, so they were insane. They were my favorite team, so I watched every game about them. I knew everything.
Was that the Khan, Crims?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
It was Olaf Meister, Flusha, JW, Crims, and
I think Khan.
Dennis.
Yes, that's right. Actually, because Khan retired in 2013 or 14.
Yeah,
Yes.
So we played against them, and I played really well. We lost 16-13. But we fought until the end. And then the CEO of HLTV had a list of best upcoming players in Europe. And Optic Gaming asked him for who is the best player. And I was in that list, and Optic Gaming called me. They had an interview because they wanted to know if I speak English. Because if I didn't know how to speak it, then I wouldn't have joined. And I passed the exam, and I went from earning nothing to earning much more.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. So I left.
What was the time competing with them, playing with them?
Amazing.
What is? Tell me your favorite memory.
There's many memories, but my favorite one, there's two of them, and they're different. My favorite one is getting to know Hector, living in NA, leaving my house, and he was taking care of me so much, like a father, because as CEO, usually you sign the contract and you never see him again, but it wasn't the same. He was picking me up at home. He drove me to get my paperwork. He was waiting with me in line for 4 hours. He was giving me whatever I needed. It was, without him, I don't think I could have stayed there for a long time.
Wow.
Because I was homesick as well.
Yeah.
And also the fans in Optic are crazy.
They are intense, yeah. I mean, look,
Super crazy.
Hector, Hex, is one of the OGs of Call of Duty. I got to speak to him, and Scump was the Call of Duty player on console, heard a very similar story. Speaks very highly of him. Okay, so we know you like the organization. We know you like Hex. What's game? What match? What tournament comes to mind as a good memory?
The tournament that comes to mind is two. The first one was qualifying to the major as the first Spanish player in history. That was insane. And the other one is winning E-League against the Astralis, the best team for me in CSGO history. And it was in Atlanta, in the NBA studios where they do the thing. I did a photo with Shaq and everything. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is that.
I remember that they're putting the Counter-Strike on TV there,
Yeah. And we won $400,000, which back then was insane.
It still is massive, but even bigger then.
Yeah. And we went from top 25 team in the world to top 2 in 1 year. And everything was so surreal. I was enjoying every moment, to be honest. It's hard to pick one, but that one is the pinnacle.
We don't have enough time to go into all of them, so I just wanted to get one. Before we move on to, let's say, transition to Valorant, I do want to ask, what does your brother and your parents think now?
I mean, they are super proud. I think for my little brother, when I left, it was hard for me to leave, knowing that I left him behind, because I knew what was happening at home. It was a tough time, and I was homesick because of him. So after I spoke about this recently, not many years ago, he told me that he understood it, but I didn't know.
At the time, yeah.
I didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
And
I'll say this respectfully, you were very young.
Yeah.
So even if, like, you're a wise soul, I think, but even then, the emotional experiences and stuff with the younger brother and the situation, like, it would have been hard to understand, I think.
Yeah, he explained me what was happening and I didn't know anything about it then. But he told me he was super proud. He watched every game. He was telling his friends that he's my brother, he's doing amazing. And all my family was like this, so we were not a family that we call each other all the time.
Yeah.
But you know that they are looking.
Yeah, and looking up to you, watching your success.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look, the thing that I love as well is that I was not watching your Counter-Strike career as closely as I watched your Valorant career, especially the early days, that unstoppable run with the G2 roster and how undoubtedly the best team in the world. How and why did we go from Counter-Strike to Valorant?
So when I reached my goal, which was winning international events, this happens a lot where you need new goals. And then you don't train as hard as you should, and you start to slack a little bit, and you think you're better than what you are, and then things go down, and then you have to try to get back to where you were before, but you don't have the same drive. So I tried it for like 3 years, and I still was really good, but I wasn't like top level I was before. And I realized I wasn't enjoying it anymore, and I needed something new. And Valorant came at the perfect time. It was random. They told me, you want to test this game? And I was like, it's from Riot Games. Sounds great. Maybe it's going to be the next big thing. And I tried it and I enjoyed it a lot. And I got the opportunity to stream it with really big names like Ibai and so on. So a lot of people were watching me, and I thought, okay, I have the opportunity to do content creation at the same time. Let's do everything at the same time since the start.
What?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous because you literally built your future career, which is where you are now, from day one of Valorant.
Yeah.
I want to ask this, which is something that I haven't asked a player before. You came from different titles. Obviously, Dev Defeat, you're playing online multiplayer. I'm the same as you. If it wasn't a multiplayer game, a competition game, I didn't do it. Like, end of story.
Yeah.
When you saw Valorant being launched by Riot and had seen what they were doing in League of Legends, were you excited at like what the competitive scene could look like?
I played League of Legends while I was playing CS.
Yeah. See, that's why you fell in CS.
Yeah.
League of Legends is an addictive game.
I loved watching Worlds and everything. I think it's the best tournament in esports in general, for sure. And my little brother was a professional League of Legends player as well. So
Can I also just say, on behalf of everybody watching at home, F your family. Your older brother's a pro player. You're a pro player. Younger brother, I'm sick of the talent. No, I'm joking, obviously. No.
It's fun though because you can speak about really
Specific
technical things. Yeah. And I was Diamond 1 in 2012, which I don't know what it would be today.
Yeah.
But
That's still really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, it was nice. And I tried it, but to be honest, League of Legends gets the worst of my... like, I can't. I rage like I rage in any other game. I cannot compare it to anything. It gets the worst out of me.
I know, it's true. It's a tough market. Okay. What do you think about when you think about Valorant? Obviously, the beginning days really, really good. How do you summarize your journey with Valorant?
So, what I would say is that I worked my ass off in this game, and it gave me the opportunity to be where I am today. I wouldn't be here if Valorant was not, if Valorant didn't came out, because I streamed for 90 days in a row at the start of the game, 10 hours a day. I did YouTube videos. When I traveled, I did vlogs, daily vlogs. I won every tournament that was at the start without any organization. Then there was organizations from all over the world that wanted me. It was T1, Cloud9, G2, Fnatic. Everyone was asking, and I had to search for the first time for a manager as well, because I was like, I can't talk to everyone, and I'm not that good at it. So I had to professionalize myself outside of the game as well. And in the game, I think I did so much work. I believe 100% I was the best player in the game back then.
I agree. As a viewer, I mean, look, I'm no expert, but I watched a lot of those games, no doubt.
And I was streaming the tournaments, and I didn't care because I was thinking about the future as well. I was thinking, I don't know how many years I'm gonna be active, so I'm gonna prepare it. So when I stop, I will have a huge community. So I did it from the start.
And so I'm not being funny, but on my notes, my very next topic is from pro player to full-time creator. The fact that you're thinking about that from the very beginning of Valorant and like building the foundation is incredible. And it's something I actually wish more pro players today in every game thought a little bit more about. I'm very fortunate that I've been able to work across many, many titles in the last 2 years, and there's not many that think the way you do. So I'm giving you a compliment here and saying that it has established you. Before we get to this full transition, what was some of the specific things that you were doing while also simultaneously training? Like what were the weekly goals or the focuses that you had every month?
So I was the captain on the team, and I was sometimes 90% of the time the IGL as well. So I had to study the game a lot. And while I was not streaming, I usually watched every game from in Europe to know how the other teams played. I also was uploading videos to teach people how to play. So I used that as, when you teach, you learn.
Yeah.
So I used that as a way of learning myself and doing. I tried to do everything that was professional to convert it into content as well. So I did both things at the same time all the time, like a loop.
And then it creates its own dynamic and fuel.
You're so focused and so into your thoughts And if you do also, if you exercise as well, if you go to the gym and you have everything, I mean, you also need someone on your side that understands, because I didn't spend too much time on.
Who is here that understands behind the camera?
It's Rachel. We've been together for 8 years. She's here. You cannot see her, but
Yeah.
she's here, and she helped me so much.
Is she a bit of the brains behind the operation as well?
Exactly.
Yep, I can see it. Rachel is smiling ear to ear, and rightfully so. Okay, well, look, you've already set me up for the next topic. You're smart enough to start building a community. You see and understand that being a pro player has a time limit on it, okay? And at the time you're playing Valorant, you're thinking about a community, you're thinking about streaming. What was the plan then? Where are you now? And when did Autocar come into it? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Funny thing is that I have what I wanted because I wrote it in a paper. And I had a list of things that I wanted to accomplish.
I love this so much.
Yeah. And I can read it. And I did more than what I was typing in the thing. I wanted to grow a YouTube community big enough so that what I invest into my editor is at least covered, which is now more than that. So it's great. I had a goal of becoming the best player in Europe. I've done it really fast. That was really fast. But my biggest goal was to teach my community how to play the game and to teach how it was to be a professional player from the inside, doing vlogs and sharing what teams are afraid to show.
Yeah.
When you're sad or when things are...
The humanizing stuff that's also difficult to share.
Yeah.
Because it means you're being vulnerable and you're showing people not the success side.
They feel like you are like them.
Yeah.
And that made me have a super committed community, because they didn't follow me because I won. They follow me because of who you are.
Yeah.
So after when I started losing, they didn't care.
Yeah.
They were supporting.
They were there
anyway.
for you.
Exactly.
They're not there for the results.
And that's something I wanted to. That's, for me, that's the best I've accomplished.
One of the things I have written down in my notes, somebody from my production team helped me and said that apparently every game you play, someone goes, "Are you the real Mixwell?" Is that something you experience a lot?
Yes, it's true. It's true. It's weird. It happens a lot in CS when I come back.
That's what I was going to get to.
Yeah. In CS, the respect is huge, huge. And people are older because it was a... And you can feel like they ask, I watched you when you were there. There was a caster from Poland that it was in a game that he was like, I used to cast your games and now can you sign my profile? And I'm like, yes. And he's like super happy. And that makes me so happy.
What do you do to prove that you're Mixwell? Because I also have had games where people go, "You're not Quickshot. That's not real. There's no ways you're Quickshot."
You know, before it was like that, but now everyone has these programs where they see if you're streaming, they see everything. Okay. So they know instantly that it's you know? No one is asking for real.
Yeah. Well, I'm old enough that I had to prove it, I'm afraid. Okay. Literally, my entire section about pro player to creators kind of covered. So I want you to tell me more about Autocar. When did you decide you wanted to make an organization? What are the goals for the organization? And you know, where do you go in the future with this?
So this was thanks to Red Bull. I'm a Red Bull athlete, and one day I was in a meeting with them, and they told me, what do you want to do? What's something that would make you motivated and in the long run do something great? And I was like, I want to do my own team. And they didn't have to hear anything else. They said, okay, let's do it.
I mean, it's hard to argue based on the success you've had. Literally everything that you set your mind to from 15 years old, with supports along the way. There's key people that have helped enable the skills you've been able to pull off.
I'm going to tell you something. Being a CEO of an organization and not being able to play the games is one of the most frustrating things I've ever done in my life. I'm watching the games and I hate and love my players at the same time. I wish I was playing sometimes.
Yeah.
But it gets me this fire that competition gives you, you know. At the same time, it's so hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
And we've done good things. We qualified for the Spanish league. I wanted to do the team from the very bottom. I did trials for Spanish players, We had in the Red Bull website, you had to fill a form, everything. We had almost 15,000 players, and we had to.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just from Spain.
Yeah, just from Spain, and we had to kick the people that.
Of course.
Yeah, you know how it is. And at the end, there was like 100, and we did trials with 100 people on stream. I was streaming the games as well, and I had to do a lot of interviews with hundreds of coaches that wanted to join, and we ended up picking one. He came to my house. I had a one-on-one with the audience. The process was amazing, and I enjoyed it a lot. When we started competing, I enjoyed it a lot. And now that we're reaching new heights, I know it's going to be even tougher because many teams have done many great things. And this is the real test from now on, I feel like.
How are you going to control yourself when you're watching your team? Let's say it's promotion relegation, or let's say it's semifinals or finals. How are you going to keep calm? How hard is it going to be for her sitting? I see her shaking her head there.
It's so hard. When we were in promotion, we won a really tough match, and I was jumping in my chair, screaming. I was celebrating, but when they
You're good. It's for YouTube and stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
When they fuck up hard, you can tell in my face, but I cannot say what I'm thinking. It's super tough. One day I'm probably gonna say something I shouldn't say.
I don't believe it for a second. I really don't. I think the way that I approached my job and things that I do is that you build up good credits by being like this, calm, controlled, respect, passionate, right? And every now and again, when you do maybe get a little too animated, a little too angry, there's so many good things before that people can understand.
That's true.
I also just don't. When you say you're toxic in League of Legends, I can't even imagine it. Now, I obviously can't understand Spanish, so I don't know what angry...
She knows.
I don't know what angry Mixwell streaming sounds like. But definitely in English, you definitely don't give off that energy. So.
You want to know? I was playing League of Legends, and they gave me a new chair. I'm not going to promote
don't say name.
I want to promote it, but they gave me a new chair, and first day it came, I was playing a game, and I slammed the chair, and I broke the armrest, and I called them, and I said, listen, the chair was... It was broken since the start. I don't know what happened. They sent me a new one, and the same day they sent me the new one, I broke it again.
Oh.
That happened.
Okay, so hang on. So everybody watching at home, listen to the first half of this interview. This second raging bit, we'll cut it out. Okay, we'll cut it. No, but I understand. It comes from the passion. It comes from,
It's not normal. I almost never do it.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Sometimes...
I normally ask this question to older guests that I get to have on the podcast, but as a 30-year-old, what would you say to your 10-year-old self if you knew this is where you're going to end up? Would you believe it as 10-year-olds, Mixwell? Were you even called Mixwell then when you were 10? I bet you had a different nickname. So
no, I had my name.
Yeah, there you go. See?
I had my name. I don't think I would have believed it with 10. Maybe a bit older.
Well, yeah, you were playing Dave Defeat at 12 and the number one ranked player in Spain. So
a bit older. But with 10, because I wouldn't even believe that esports would be like this.
Yeah.
To be honest, back then. I was playing because I had fun.
Yeah.
I didn't play because I wanted to become faker, you know?
In some ways, for a period of time, you could argue that you had that influence.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
Nobody will ever be faker because his career is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But to look back on some of the highs, you've held on to that position.
Yeah. And it feels, with 10, you tell me I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have believed it. I don't think so.
Do you know what I love? I actually think, if we could go back in time and tell your 10-year-old self, I actually think you would look at me and go, fine, I'll prove it. Because you give off that energy.
I think,
you know?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, you're right. I never would have said that.
Yeah,
no.
You couldn't predict it, but you'll go, fine, I will. If you tell me, I'll show you.
It's true.
Yeah.
I was like this.
Yeah, you've got that drive. You've got the fire.
I was like that.
Listen, the podcast is called Origins, and when we get towards the end of your Origins, which is where we're now, I do want to look forward and just see what's in the future for Mixwell, for Otakar. But before I do, I need to get some spicy stuff. I don't get the chance to speak to somebody who's been incredibly successful in both Counter-Strike and Valorant. What's the differences between the games and the community?
Okay, between the games, I feel like, and this was really controversial when I said it, but I feel like when you're good, it's CS, it's easier to stay on the top.
Okay.
But it's harder to master it.
Okay.
In Valorant, it's easier to reach the top, but it's super hard to stay at the top.
Okay.
And I'm going to explain it better. In CS, the game doesn't change much. If you reach a point where you're really smart and really good mechanically, and you play in a good team, which is the most important thing, you can stay at the top for many years. Look at Fallen, look at a lot of players that are...
Even like Fallen, Dupree, like
Yeah.
so some of the classics, yeah.
But in Valorant, the game changes all the time.
Yeah.
So if you don't adapt, you're going to have a short career. And for your mindset, it's different because in CS, you lose a tournament, next weekend you have another chance. In Valorant, everything is one tournament.
Yeah.
If you don't play well that week, you threw your whole year away.
Yeah.
And mentally, it's draining, really draining. So it's different. It's different. And a lot of people don't agree with me, but that's my experience.
I actually 100%. I think that's one of the most eloquent and really well phrased differences. Coming from the League of Legends space, the argument between Dota and League of Legends is a common one. And I think the same applies, that League of Legends is Valorant, Dota is Counter-Strike, that, way harder to master Dota than League, but there's less volatility, etc.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, you don't have to answer this, but can you look at your camera? Which game's better?
CS.
Oh, okay, that was simple. I actually knew you were going to say that. Okay, so I've covered most of it. We don't have like hours. I know we can spend more. I want you to tell me what's the future. So I want you to tell me two versions. What is Mixwell's future in 1 year, 2 years, and 10 years?
Okay.
And what is Autocar's future in 1 year, 2 years, and 10 years?
Mine is to be able to keep growing as a content creator and taking care of my family in a different way. We might expand. So.
Congratulations. I want to be a father as well. Yes, yes, I understand.
So it's more like personal, and keep having the stability that I have now and keep doing the things I do. Probably what I would love to have for myself is not only play one game and start to play other games as well, and being able to keep the momentum in everything I do, which is hard. And for Otakar, I want to be able to have a team with Spanish players that can compete really far. If we can't, because there's not enough talent, maybe we go international. Now that in Valorant you can reach champions, that's the goal we should have, and that's the goal we want to have.
That's a big journey. From, what are you, tier 2 at the moment, tier 1? Yeah, so.
It's going to be tough, but
yeah,
that's why I do it.
Good luck, good luck. It's going to be fascinating to watch. We're nearing the end, and towards the end of this podcast, we have a series of questions that are rapid fire. So I'm going to ask them in a slightly quick way.
Okay.
I want you to try to give me your gut reaction. Some of them are just one-word answers. Some of them I'll ask for a little bit more. So, for example, here's an easy one to start. What is your favorite Counter-Strike roster you ever played with?
Optic Gaming 2016.
Ooh, now, which was the best teammate you've ever had?
Rush.
Oh, tell me why, because that was real quick.
I think he did two things for me that was really important. The first one, he knew that I was homesick, and instead of staying at home with his close friends and family, he came to the house to live with me, so I didn't leave the team. So that's something I will never forget. And he's really selfish, and he's going to do everything you need for the team. He doesn't care about being the star. So
I love that. We already know you said Counter-Strike's better than Valorant, so that one's out. But I'm going to add some ones. Counter-Strike or Valorant, which one feels more like home?
CS.
Counter-Strike or Valorant, which one are you actually better at?
Valorant.
Oh, you paused for a second.
Yeah.
Was that a sadness pause?
It was a sadness.
Which one player would you love to queue with again for old time's sake?
I would like to play with Faker in League of Legends.
I like that. Yeah. In one word, what does competition mean to you? Give me one in English and one in Spanish.
Everything.
Is it the same in Spanish? Is there a better word? Because it's a much more beautiful language.
Me.
Yeah.
Yo.
I love this. Listen, I want to ask you to maybe, as some closing thoughts, tell the audience, tell me, what would you tell aspiring Spanish pros today? How would you encourage them to, quite frankly, follow your path and find their version of how successful you've been?
I think it doesn't matter where you start. The starting point is not what really defines you. I think you can be in a really tough situation or a really good one, but in the end, if you really work and you put the time and you are humble and you do the things you have to do, it doesn't really matter. In Spain, I feel like a lot of players don't understand that when you're not at the top, you have to gain what you want. Nowadays, everyone is asking for many things to be a professional, and that is not something you should think about. You should think about being the best player you can be, because even if you reach tier 2, you're not gonna earn enough money to live. You need to become exceptional. So don't think about the money short term. Just think about getting better for the long term. And work on you as a person, not only in game, because to be a good teammate and to have a long career, you need to have many things. Not only shooting heads, you need to understand emotionally how your teammates feel, how you feel. You need to understand how to learn, because if you don't know what you're lacking, you will learn slow. And that makes you vulnerable, that makes you bad compared to others. And if you do that, I'm 100% sure you will be tier 1.
I wish I had your wisdom at 30. Man, it's really inspiring. And I'm not being sarcastic. It's incredible. Beautiful advice. I think absolutely everybody should be listening to that. We're now wrapping up at the end. I want you to do 2 more things for me. The first one is, what's happening next? We're here in Vegas. It's the Esports Awards for 2025. What are you doing for the rest of the year? Where can people find you? What's your stream? What's your socials?
For the rest of the year, I'm going to probably be playing Valorant and Arc Raiders. I'm enjoying the game a lot. I play it every day. You can find me on YouTube, Mixwell on Twitch every day, Mixwell as well. And yeah, just you will find someone that is really calm, someone that you can move away from your problems and chill for a little bit and enjoy someone that is not raging all the time and having fun.
Only sometimes, and when you do, you
Only
break
sometimes.
things, and when you do, it's a real good rage.
And it's gonna. If you don't know Spanish, you can learn Spanish with me as
I
well.
was gonna say that's the last thing I'd love to do. From myself, I want to say muchas gracias to Adri for thank you. Also, thank you to, is it Rachel?
Yes.
Thank you, muchas gracias. You've given us a very inspirational, aspirational person. Could you do the same thing? Just give us a Spanish shout out. Okay. To Spanish stream, Spanish community. At the very least, you need to say some Spanish on this podcast.
Of course. Muchas gracias, chicos, por todo el apoyo que me dais siempre. Sin vosotros yo no estaría aquí, es bastante loco. Estamos en Las Vegas, me traen para hacer un podcast y para estar aquí en unos premios. ¿Quién me lo iba a decir? Y sin vosotros no soy nadie, así que esto es gracias a vosotros y siempre os voy a estar agradecido. Y nos vemos en los streams, como siempre. No va a cambiar nada, yo seguiré siendo la misma persona, así que seguimos.
I'm going to say thank you so much for your time. For everybody watching at home, this has been Mixwell. I mean, fantastic interview, hugely inspirational person. Good luck to the production team. I don't know if we're going to be doing subtitles for that. Let me say my goodbyes. This has been the Esports Awards Origins podcast. We will be back with a few more episodes from Las Vegas, from the Esports Awards broadcast for 2025. Thank you once again, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, Quickshot. Bye.